Hi, I'm Paul Seal from codeshare.co.uk. Welcome to this fourth episode in this series where I show you how to build a website with Umbraco 10. In this episode, first of all, what I want to do is show you that the code is actually on GitHub now. So somebody requested it in the comments, so I've pushed up the code. I'm going to tag it at the end of each episode. There wasn't really much to tag on the first two episodes. So if you want to, you can get to the code and just get to the source code at the point of it at the end of each episode if you want to compare it with yours. So if you want to get to that, that's github.com/prjseal/umbraco-10-tutorial. And basically, if you go from there, you should be able to navigate to the tags. If you click on one tag, then you should see the tag there, and then you should be able to get to the code. You can download the zip file, etc., or you can just go to the code and just have a look at it. Here you can either switch between tags and branches and get to it. So on this episode, what I want to do is carry on with the master template. We're going to dissect the master template, starting with partial views. Later on in the series, we'll look at what view components are in this new .NET world. But in this episode, we're just going to split it all out, the template, into we're going to have two templates, three actually: the master template, the home page template, and the content page template. And we're going to have some partial views where we put all the different parts, and we are going to fix some of the issues we've got with CSS and things like that. So let's get on with this episode then. So let's go into the command line, run .NET watch run inside the clean.site folder. I'm going to kick off the project. So we've got our website, and what we want to do now is just dissect the master template, dissect the homepage template, put it into the relevant templates. This is one of my favorite parts of turning a static HTML site into an Umbraco website. So if you remember, we just have a home page at the moment. We need to log into Umbraco. We need to go to settings, and what we want to do is create a master template. Now, if we go to settings on the main menu and then we come down to templating here, we've got this separate section and templates here. If you click on create, so the three dots and then create, we can now create our own template. So we're going to call it master. One thing to know about Umbraco and these templates is with a template, it's not only on the file system, so we can have a look at this where this got created in views and then master. Not only does it create it here, but it also creates an entry in the database for it as well. And that's what is different with partial views. Partial views only exist in the file system, not actually in the database. So the master template for master, it doesn't have one. But the master template for home, we're going to change to be master. So we want the home page to inherit from the master template. So meaning that everything that is on the master template will be rendered first, and then our home page will get there'll be a render body method called from the master, and then our home page will get rendered inside that. So just the very basic, if we do @render body in the master template now, open and close round brackets and save that, this should still work, and everything that we had before in the homepage template still works here. But what we want to do is move it out of the homepage and into the master template. So at the moment on our master template, it inherits from Umbraco view page, and it does have a reference to publish models, but we don't want this to be specific to any particular page. So we don't want to pass in a particular model here like we do with content models.homepage. So because of that, we just leave it without one. And so when you don't have the model defined in here, it just assumes that it is I publish content, especially when you don't define anything else. And that's how it's working with Umbraco. So let's take the homepage markup. Let's copy everything. I'm going to cut that even, and do save, and then I'm going to go to master. I'm going to just paste this in here and grab the render body part, cut that, and then where the body is, actually after the navigation, I'm just going to paste in at render body. So I've added it on a new line, and then the home page itself, let's just say the home page is going to be made up of a header and then the list of pages. So if we're going to copy from that line 44 there down to line 118, and we're going to select that and cut it. So then if you see that this render body here is, it's saying that whatever page inherits from this, render that inside here, whatever template is inheriting from this one, render that section in there. So we've cut that out of there. So we can go into this home now and we can paste that in there. So what the end result should be is exactly the same. So if we refresh the page, and we do have an error, but that's okay because we can solve that error. I always leave errors like this in so you can see what the error is and see how I solve it. So this one here is about the title, and it's saying it doesn't know about the model of the title. What we can see is that it wants the model.title, but we're on a generic I publish content, so it doesn't know about this. So we need to put this into a partial view, and we need to know about the I header properties interface. And the way we see that is in Umbraco and models, and we've got this header properties generated, and it's I header properties, and that's what's got the title on it. So, and if we make sure that all pages have got this header, then it's fine that on the master it calls out to the partial view and we get it that way. So I'm going to create a partial view. So in the partials folder, I'm going to right click, new file, and we'll call it metadata. Now, some people follow the naming convention that you start a partial view name with an underscore, but you can do that, you don't have to, and I'm choosing not to on this occasion. I'm going to cut all of this out of here and save, and then I'm going to paste it in here. I'm going to select it all, shift tab, and then on the top line I'm just going to do at inherits Umbraco view page, and then I open angled brackets, and I'll do I header properties. Now it will know about this model. It will know about the namespace for this model, Umbraco CMS web.common publish models. Now it might seem like a bit of magic, like why does it know about that, and why does it know about Umbraco web common views? Well, there's a file in here called view imports _ view imports. So we've got this common views one and we've got this publish models one. So using this file, we can add any usings that we want or tag helpers that we want to, and that will mean that we have less using statements defined in our views. It means that they'll be available to any of our views. So now we want to call that partial from here, so we can just do it with await partial async, and then we put in the name of it. So we'll do tilde views partials, and then we can do metadata.cshtml. Now there are other ways to do this, and you can use view components as I mentioned, but for now we're just going to do it with this, and I'll pass in the model of model. Let's see if that works. Oh, it's not partial async, it's html.partial async. Sorry about that. Save that. And we don't even need to pass in the model because it's inferred anyway. Because if you don't pass a model, it just passes the current model of whatever's calling it. So let's reload the page. So we can already see that the title's pulled in here in the title tag. The header's working fine and everything like that. So that's good. So we've taken out that top part and we put it in there. Let's go down to the navigation. We want to create a navigation as well. Again, don't worry about these partial views. We're going to pick the relevant one, whether it's a partial, whether we use the partial tag helper, whether we use view components. We'll work all of this out in future episodes. So next we're going to cut this navigation. we're going to do another await HTML dot partial async, and then we'll give it the path before we've even created the files. Views, partials, and then navigation dot CSHTML. And let's create the file in partials. So we'll just do new file, and it's called navigation.cshtml. We'll paste that in there. We'll fix the code. When I say fix the code, what I mean is we'll just bring back the indents, save that, and then we'll just do at inherits Umbraco view page. For now, we don't need to tell it anything else. And then if we go back to master, just double check, have we done that correctly? So we should be able to reload the page again, and it still has the navigation. So it doesn't have the navigation. It's saying that the navigation CSHTML wasn't found, but actually we've spelt it incorrectly. So that's all it is. So CSHTML, save that, reload the page. And we still have a navigation, so that's good. So we've moved the navigation out into a separate one. Let's move the footer as well. So Control X, I'm going to create the file. Now in Visual Studio, if you click on a file, hold Control and then drag that file up to the folder, it creates a copy. And it does the same in VS Code as well, so that's handy. So now I'll just call this footer. And in there, I'm just going to paste in the markup for the footer, and I'm going to select it all and tab it over so it's nicely indented. So now we've got our footer. If we go back to master, we'll just put that, we can copy this await here, and we can update this to be footer. Save that. So now it's a lot more simplified, this whole master template. You can see that in the master we call the metadata partial there, we call the navigation and the footer. And then so let's see if this all works. Still got the nav, the header, the body part, and then we've got the footer as well. So that's great. Let's leave these here. We will have issues when we do this next page, but we're going to create a content page to show that more than just one page will actually use this master template, and we'll iron out any issues with doing so. So in Umbraco, we want to create another page. So we click on the three dots, and this one we want to create with a template. So we choose that and we call it content page. And you can enter a description for your things here. So we'll just do a simple content page. And then for our icon, we're going to use the same color, and we're just going to do doc. There we go, just a simple content page. Now we're not going to add any properties directly to the page because we don't do that. We choose a composition, and then we're going to select header properties, submit, and save. Now we've done that, we can reload the page. Well, it won't affect anything. What am I doing? We need to, I'll just check the site's still working, but it is. What we want to do actually is do some content properties. So I'm going to create another composition. So using that composition, change the color of it to pink, and then submit, because it automatically selected the frag icon for us. And then we're going to call this one content properties. So this is like for your main usual content properties that you have. We're going to have a content tab. So just clicked on add tab and then type in content. And then the property on here, I'm just going to do body text. Now later on we will go into using the block list editor. but for now we're going to use a rich text editor. So enter the rich text for this page. And then if we select the editor, start typing rich text, and we can click on that one. Now it wants to define a new one. So I want to reuse the other one. So if I take that rich off, take the word text off, actually this one is called rich text in one word and then editor. So we'll select that. So that's reusing one. Submit that, and then click on reorder. So we want content. I'll make this number 20 in terms of ordering for the tab, and then I'll make the body text property a 5 and save that. So then what I want to do on this content page, I want it to inherit from the other composition as well. Content properties, submit that and save. So now we have two tabs on this one. We've got the header, we've got content, and the content's got a property called body text. So let's go into settings, models builder, generate models. Have a look at the command line interface. See that it's doing the hot reload. Well, it's doing the rebuild of it, but it did it automatically. It detected there was changes and it knew it needed to be rebuilt. So once that's done its thing, which it has now, we'll get back to Umbraco and we'll just have a look. So we created a new document type and we created a new composition document type. We added that to the content page. So now in theory, we should be able to create a content page. The only problem is that there's no way to create the content page. It's not been given any permissions to do so. So what we've got here is a helpful tip to say you're not allowed to create anything under home. You edit permissions for the document type and then you can add a permission. So that has opened this document type editing pane and has gone straight to permissions, and this is where you can add a child. So we're going to choose the child, which is content page. So we're saying we want to be able to create content pages underneath the home page. Then we'll click on save, and then now if we go back to content, we should be able to create a content page under here, and you notice it's got the description that we put in as well. So it's really handy to add those descriptions. Click on content page and then we'll just do about, and then the title about this website. Subtitle, this will tell you all you need to know. And then we want to add an image. So let's go to Unsplash again. And then we'll search for nosy. This one will do. So I'm going to, I fell for the adverts. I fell for the adverts. All right, we'll have to do the nosy dog. Click on download, open that in the folder. So I've got my download folder ready. So I just need to go back to Umbraco, click on main image. I've got my media section here. I've actually created media items at the root of the media section, and what we can do is we can sort that out, but after we've uploaded this. So I'm going to upload, and then we're going to select that image and then save and publish. So this content page will has inherited the header composition, and it's also inherited the content. So let's have a look on the demonstration site. So if we went to clean bootstrap, clean blog theme on that live demo, and we go to the about page, let's just copy some of the lorem ipsum from there, and then we'll put that into our content in here, and we'll save and publish. Now, one thing we haven't done is added any of this to the template, so it won't really do anything. But if we see our content page, let's have a look at the state of what's happening. Does this even inherit from master? Have we set it up properly? So click on about. we may just end up with an empty page. And we have. So why is that? Well, let's have a look at the template. So if you want to see what template it's using, you look on the info tab and you can see that content page document type is using the template content page. Let's open that and we can see that it doesn't inherit from the master template. So what we can do is we can fix that by clicking on that button there and then choosing master and then save. And now if we reload the about page, we've got what looks like a broken website. Now if you remember, I said that's going to cause us problems. So let's try and fix these problems that it's caused, that have caused this. So it's all about this relative pathing here. So when we were on the home page, having this like this, it just means that, oh yeah, it's a bit like doing /css/styles. But if you don't start it with a slash, it doesn't know that it's the root. So all we have to do here is we just have to start these with a slash, and that will fix that. So whatever level of the site you're at, even lower than the home page, it will work. So we'll save all that and then we'll load the page again and see what happens. So now all we have is a footer. So let's have a look and see what's on the home page. So on the home page we added the header and we also added the main content as well. Now it looks to me like the header, I wonder why we've got the header. Have we got the header twice? No, we only took out the navigation. So on all pages, let's have a header. So let's create a copy of the footer. We can do Control-C, Control-V, that creates a copy. Go back to the home page, grab that header, X, and then put that into the copy one here. We can use F2 to rename, so we're going to call this header. And then we're going to replace the contents of this, save. We're going to tab this over, save again, and we can actually tell it that it's using iHeader properties again, because it is. So that way the model will resolve fine, because it knows about it. And we'll be able to render that no problem. So if we go back to the master, to the master, we want to, after the navigation and before the render body, we want the other one to call the header part. So we'll save that. So now in the home page, we don't have the header being rendered out specifically. Oh, cancel that. I nearly deleted the page, the file. So now all we have on the home page being rendered out is just the list of articles. And even that can be put into a partial view, but it's relevant to be on the home page at the moment. So we've got our header and it's being called from the master. The navigation is being called from the master, and so is the footer. So now let's refresh the about page. And we can see that we've got the nav, we've got the header, we've got the image, and we've got the footer, but we don't have any content in the middle. Now we did download the whole of this Bootstrap thing. So if we just have a look at this about and copy it into our site. So if we go to wroot and copy it into here, then we can open it in a VS Code, click on that. If we just ignore the nav, ignore the header, then we've got this main content. So really that's what we want to be on our content page document type. So let's copy that and go to the content page document type and then paste that in there. And then save. Now if you look at the top here, the inherits, because we created it via Umbraco, it automatically bound it to the model that it created for it, which is content page. So with that in mind, we should be able to just render out this in here. So we do @model body text, and then we save. Now if we go back to here and then reload, we've actually got a page with some content. So we've got our first real editable content page. So we can go into that page and we can put something in the middle here. This is a test. Does it really work? And then save and publish that. And we can refresh here. And there it is. So this is content editable. So we're getting somewhere. So also if we go back to the home page as well, which is here. Yeah, there we go. So that's the home page. It looks different to the about page. For now as well, we can just hard code the navigation to work properly. So if we do index.html, if we just change that to be a slash there and a slash there. So this is in the logo or the site name. This is in the top nav part over here. And then we've got about as well. So we're just going to change these to be hard coded, and we're going to take off the last two. Oh. I'm just going to take off these last two because they're not relevant at the moment. And then if we refresh the site, these links will start to work now. So home and about, they both work. So now we're navigating around. We can also click on that one, click on about, and then click on that one. So we've got two different pages working. We've got our footer as well. So it's starting to take shape. Let's just have another look at the master page. So this is what we've got here. So we've got the metadata being defined there. We've got our fav icon, some scripts, some CDN outsourced stuff, and then the styles and that. So the last thing I think is probably on the home page. Instead of all this content just being on the home page, let's create another partial view and we'll put that inside it. So I'm going to copy it from the bottom to the top, cut that and save, and then I'm going to create a copy of the footer one by clicking on it and dragging it up to the folder, holding control and then dragging up. I'm going to call this one latest articles. So that's our partial for latest articles, and replace what's in this file. Save that. Now we've saved that. We've got latest articles. All that's left to do is on the grab from the master, the reference to these partial views, and then we'll go into the home page and we'll just call it from here, and we'll just change that to be latest articles. And we've not had to pass in a model at this point because this is just hard coded in. But if we were to reload, I think it just did it for us actually. There we go. So the home page is still working, the about page is still working. We've got editable content on the about page, and we've got editable headers anyway. I think that's enough for this episode. So I hope you liked the video. Remember, you can get the code for up to this point. I will do another tag it as version 4, so at the end of episode 4. If you do like the video, please click on like and subscribe to my channel for the upcoming videos in this series, and also to have a look at the other videos that I've done. If you want to, you can buy me a coffee, but you don't have to. But some people like to find a way to say thanks, so it's there if you need to do that. And yeah, I will see you on the next video where we'll get cracking and doing some more. So yeah, thanks ever so much for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye.